Is it better to walk alone or in company? He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Well, that's him, not me. He was quite sure that only a fool will walk with you. So he said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. Certain lore in this country says, when you want to do a short and quick journey, walk alone. When you want to do a long journey, walk in company. But the important thing is, who is walking with you? Not always being together is a good thing. Many times, being together can be a nuisance. So, first and foremost, unless you are a twin, even then, we come alone and we go alone. If one does not know how to be by himself or herself, then being together can be a lot of nuisance. We are referred to as human beings. Human beings means every other creature is what it is simply because of what it does. But a human being can simply be, which is a unique quality of the human being, that we can simply be, that we are not compulsive action, that's what it means. Our action is conscious and judicious. But generally, when people get together, generally, people are in compulsive action. It can be an association where there could be a purposeful action, or it can be a gang where there can be more purposeful action, or it can be a crowd which can be a compulsive action. So essentially, to be human means we have reached that point of evolution within ourselves that if we wish, we can simply sit here, just be. We can consider as to what action to take and what not to take. This is definitely individual. When individuals come together, we say, it's we in plural, but still it is individuals who have to come together. To be an individual means you are not further divisible. That means you're just one. People find different ways to divide themselves within themselves. In India, with 10,000 years of cultural history, we have invented various words to divide ourselves. It's very common for people to talk in terms of Atma, Paramatma, Ahankara, this one and that one. But every culture has this in their own way. When things are going right, when good things are being done, if you ask people, they say, yes, I did it. When things don't go right, when things go wrong, then they will try to find somebody. If they don't find anybody, he is always there. When they are very wonderful, of course they take pride in being how wonderful they are. When they turn nasty, they say, it was my ego. Mr. Ego is always a fall guy. So individual means, but if I'm wonderful, it's me. If I'm nasty, it's me, all of you. Are you 24 hours wonderful? Hello? Are you 24 hours wonderful? No, no, sometimes wonderful, sometimes nasty, sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly. It's okay. If we understand it is me who is capable of being absolutely wonderful and it is me who is capable of being absolutely nasty another moment, then gradually the number of moments of nastiness will keep on receding. If I see what is wonderful is me, what is nasty is… In India we have many words, it's my karma, what can I do? Now, you must fix this. Being an individual is very important, that means you're not further divisible. If I'm wonderful, it's me, if I'm nasty, it's me. If I succeed, it's me, if I fail, it's me. You have to fix this. I'm just asking you a simple question. Within this, how many people? Hello? How many people within you? One, two? Only one. If you're one, you're a normal human being. If you're more than one, you're either schizophrenic or you're possessed. You either need a psychiatrist or an exorcist. But you will see whenever things don't go right, another guy will pop up from somewhere. So, becoming an individual means you killed all those pop-ups and just said, this is me. This what is me has many dimensions. If I don't see this is an individual, I cannot divide this further, then transformation will not happen. If transformation does not happen, if people come together in that state, there will be more mess than solutions. All creatures hang out together. Whether it is various wild creatures, most of them hang out together. Even monkeys who are just one step behind us, they are also in bunches. It is only human being who can sit alone and transform himself or herself, because this is the prerogative of being human, that we can simply be. This is why you are called human being, you're capable of being. You're not in a compulsive state of activity. If you want, consciously you can evolve. In this evening you can evolve, if you're willing. It doesn't take 1,000,000 years, because our evolution is not biological anymore, our evolution is conscious. For every other creature, it is fixed. Nature has fixed two lines within which every other creature lives and goes. But once you have come as a human being, there is only bottom line, there is no top line. There is no limit as to how a human being can become. So before we associate ourselves with people, it'll be good every day in the morning or a certain period of your life, if one withdraws to spend a little time with oneself and see how, in what ways can this be little better than the way it was yesterday, this life? How it can be a little better life than what it was yesterday, because most people are coming together for their needs. To fulfill needs, people come together. Some people come together to fulfill a purpose or a cause. Some people come together to eat, drink and be together because they cannot be alone. This is something that every human being must do. A certain period of time, you do one thing, just 24 hours, take a break from everything, not today, right now you're among people. You take a break sometime, just 24 hours. And don't read, don't watch television, don't use the phone. Simply sit in your room, alert, not sleeping. And if you watch the nature of your mind, you yourself will certify, this is a madman. because for most people, their mind cannot stay on any one thing. Unless they're in activity, simply they cannot be here. In compulsive state of psychological activity is on. When you are like this, you cannot be. That means you cannot be a human being. Being has to happen. Only then togetherness will be very rich. If you know how to be by yourself, then coming together will be hugely rewarding and of tremendous value. That means we came together consciously. So the Punya Puja is to enliven the house. The space in the house should become alive. And it is now been found it also kills certain types of bacteria in the air and also on the surfaces. This is a very important part of, warding off infections and things like that. In Indian culture, there is a whole attention to the shape and size of the room in which you live, because the shape and size of the room in some way, if it is not heavily ventilated, when I say heavily ventilated, from both sides, two walls are open and it's happening, then it feels almost like outdoor. That's different. Most homes are not made this way. So, different shapes and sizes kind of create different kinds of energy structures. These energy structures can, if they become very strong, can determine your psychological and emotional state, which either can be conducive or can become an impediment in who you want to be. So, certain substances, like sandal in India, there is something called as samrani, which is a very powerful thing, which is used even when people are ill. First thing they do is this, and it is now been found it also kills certain types of bacteria in the air and also on the surfaces. So especially if there is a sick person in the house, samrani everywhere. This has a powerful impact on the atmosphere. It is not necessarily a fragrance, it is a different kind of thing, that it clarifies the air, it just makes the atmosphere feel more lively. Fundamentally, whatever structures that are there, it will make indoor like outdoor. Just mild samrani in the house will make it feel like, though you're indoors, the feeling is of outdoors because it's an unstructured space. Especially if death happens in the family, samrani is burnt for up to 11 to 12 days because they want to clear that air completely. Incense has a certain impact, but don't overdo it. One can use it in a sensible manner, but these days incense is being made with chemical stuff. Best you don't burn those things. It's very, very important before you have enough chemical thing happening on the street, in the industry, in the factory floor that you may be working, wherever there's enough chemicals floating around. At least within your house, do not burn chemically made incense, because I think that is almost 70% or 80% of what's available in the market today is chemical. You must take it out before you burn it. It's very, very important because within the closed enclosures, if you burn chemicals, well, the negative impact of that is very, very big. So it must be natural resin or certain other oils, essential oils and things which can make a difference. A mild difference, if you need that kind of a difference, it helps definitely. So generally in the yogic culture, in the yogic sciences, we look at life as a composition of 5 basic elements: earth, fire, water, wind and space. In this, fire is a very important aspect of making this life. So, fire is seen as a significant element which makes life happen. It's not the only thing, all the 5 are important. But when it comes to warding off things, fire is always very important. So this is part of it. Every day in your life, you must light an oil lamp and stay in its presence for a period of time, because it'll ward off many things, it'll cleanse many things for your system. This is a very important part of, warding off infections and things like that. If it is airborne, especially if it's airborne, having fire around you will help. There must be some kind of a lamp burning around you somewhere close by. This will do wonders to you. Please experiment and see. If you sleep, if you can find a safe place in your room where a small oil lamp is burning, you will see it'll make a lot of difference for you. Just being in the presence of that fire makes a big difference. The science of yoga clearly establishes this, and we know this by our experience. By having a small piece of fire in the form of a lamp burning around you, you will see, especially when you're physically not well, it is very, very important to have that.
You know what's punya? What is referred to as punya and papa? Unfortunately, these things are badly misinterpreted over a period of time. Punya papa means those type of actions, actions which take you down, actions which, increase the effervescence of life within you, or actions which move you towards the inertia of life. So the punya puja is to enliven the house. The space in the house should become alive. If you have lived in such a way in your home that every moment you're on with love and light within you, then no punya puja would be needed. But today you have built homes which are so large, it's very difficult to make them alive just by living. If you just had a one-room house and you lived in great sense of love and joy, you can easily keep it very alive. But today your house has 10, 15 enclosures. It's very difficult for any human being to keep it alive. Once in a way, if you do not enlive in it, slowly if you enter certain parts of your home, you will see it feels like a coffin. So punya puja once in a way, at least once a year, would light it up. That is, you have the space around you alive and it supports you. So punya puja is a way of consecrating your home, entire home, every part of it, so that there is some sense of aliveness and energy.
The colon health is neglected today. Your colon clean, keeping your mind in a balanced state is very, very difficult. So in Ayurveda and Siddha, first thing if you say anything, you are having sleepless nights, you are having disturbed something, mild, any kind of psychological problems, first thing is purging. Purge the system, clean the colon, suddenly you feel little balanced. It is not a whole solution, but it'll bring the basic necessary atmosphere in the body to make the corrections. Either with medicine or with necessary practices, you can bring about correction. A yogi is always supposed to, have bowel movement twice a day.
See? Twice a day.
because the colon should be always clean. If you want to do certain sadhana, colon should be clean, and we know this, that if the colon is in a certain level of impurity or if a certain level of waste material are in the colon and we do certain yogic practices, the body will start emanating bad smell. And it also gets into your head, for sure. So it is directly connected. If you retain the shit, it gets into your head and messes up your life in so many different ways. So the impurities in the body should go as quickly as possible. I feel a whole lot of doctors are saying you must eat as often as possible, don't eat a big meal, eat every 2 hours, something like this. See, when the food is in the stomach bag, not in the intestine, when it's in the stomach bag, when the digestive process is on the cellular level, the purification will not happen. The cells will retain impurities for long period because digestive process is happening means everything else is brought down, including your brain.
Yeah.
So, in yogic system, there must be a minimum of 6 to 8 hours gap between one meal and the next. If that is not possible, at least 4 to 5 hours. 5 hours space is a must. Less than that means you're causing trouble to yourself. So in the yoga center, the day starts with a small marble-sized ball of neem and turmeric. There are many aspects to this, of what impact it has on your system. But first of all, the neem tree, which is generally all over India, today probably being grown in another 10 to 12 different geographical locations around the world, but originally, by nature, indigenous to Indian subcontinent. He is one of the most complex leaves that you can find on the planet. What the neem does to your system? Well, in more tangible terms, one immediate thing it will do is, it will keep your alimentary tract clean. When we say clean, this is a region. This whole digestive process is a region where you have maximum amount of other life. So within this alimentary tract, there are a whole host of microorganisms. Many of them have turned friendly to us. We are living because of them, we are able to digest food because of them. Many functions in the body happen because of them. But still there are many who are harmful to us. The uniqueness of neem, especially when it is taken along with turmeric, if these two things go together, largely those things which are not necessary for the body, those things which can harm the body, any kind of parasital life which is there, all these things get eliminated. From 15th of December to 15th of January, this 1 month, because of very diminished influence of sun upon the northern hemisphere, a certain inertia tends to settle into all that is physical. The physical aspect of life tends to go into inertia mode. When the solar influence is at the minimal, diminished influence, inertia sets in. When inertia sets in, one of the consequences is your colon will not be clean. The simplest thing is this, that you keep the lymphatic system up, then keeping the colon will happen. There is something called as triphala.
It's a magical three fruits of tropical world. Mixing them in the right way, the triphala, with a little bit of water or a spoon of milk or something, if you take it, or even honey, if you take it, the cleansing in the system will happen. But if you can't find all this, in southern India, we found one magic. This is called as castor oil. Just a little bit. Half a spoon of castor oil every day. In the night, warm it, put it in water or milk and drink it up. You will see your colon remains clean and your lymphatic system gets active because the inertia levels in the body will go down.
This is not a simple problem. People suffer this for their whole life without handling it. You are whatever age you are and you still don't know how to use your thought and emotion. If you see everything just the way it is, everything has immense value. Life is not a race. If life is a race, you must get to the finish line soon.
I often find myself in a situation where I'm not happy with myself. I compare my abilities, achievements, and even my appearance with that of others. And I think that's one reason for my low self-esteem. How do you think I can build up on my self-esteem and get rid of the self-hatred that I have?
Well, this self-esteem, this self-confidence, all these things unfortunately have been sold a lot on the planet. Why do you need esteem? Why do you need esteem? Esteem is because you want to be little one-up on somebody else all the time. Unfortunately, our education systems were made like this, right from kindergarten. Who is first, who is second, who is third? You want to be first. So, your sense of happiness is only when everybody is doing worse than you. What kind of life is that? Why are we structuring our lives like this, that if everybody is doing badly, I will feel great? I think it's sickness. Hello? You think it's joy or sickness, please tell me. If all of you are doing badly, I feel great because I'm number one now. No, this should go. From an early age, unfortunately, this is being imposed upon a child's mind that you have to be on top of everybody else. This is like, I want you to just imagine if this happened to other creatures. Let's say it happened to the plants and trees and animals. If an ant wants to become like an elephant, that is going to be a terrible ant-elephant, isn't it? Suppose a mango tree wants to become like a coconut tree. It will be a horrible mango tree because with one branch like this, no mangoes will come out of this. A mango tree is like this, a coconut tree is like that. That's how it should be. This has happened because in so many ways, people have put these things into your mind, what is good, what is bad, what is high, what is low, what is up, what is down. Because of this, you have never paid attention to every aspect of life in the sense. Maybe humanities people and lawyers and what are you? Huh? Oh, the accounting people. You never paid attention to these things. I spend a lot of time paying attention to all kinds of creatures, ants and grasshoppers and worms and everything. If you observe, let's say an ant, or let's pick up something little more than an ant, like a grasshopper, it's easier to see him. If you look at him carefully, whoever created this grasshopper has paid as much attention to a grasshopper as they have paid to this one. Please pay attention and see. When the source of creation has given equal attention to ant and you, who the hell are you to think an ant is a lowly creature and you are some superhuman being? Why are you making this judgment? Creation has not made this judgment. You may think you're superior simply because you're, in a blatant manner, you're walking on this planet, but that's not true. The fact of the matter is like this. See, if all the worms on this planet, right now if all of them die, all the worms, in about 12 to 18 months, all life on this planet will cease, everything, including you and me. Suppose all the insects die today, in something like 2.5 to 4 years' time, all life will cease. But if all the human beings die, the planet will flourish. Yes, we make good manure. If human beings go away, right through this building trees will grow, isn't it? Yes or no? Everything will flourish. So, who the hell is telling you that you are the most significant life? This idea that the cosmos is human-centric is a stupid idea. In this cosmos, even this solar system is a tiny speck. Tomorrow morning if the entire solar system evaporates, nobody will notice it. That's how small it is. In that tiny speck, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, Bengaluru is a super microspeck. In that, you are a very big person with great self-esteem. This is not a simple problem. People suffer this for their whole life without handling it. Essentially, it is just this. You have gotten yourself into a place where most human beings are in this place, you get yourself into a place where you cannot handle your own thought process and your emotion. That's all. You meet 50, 60-year-old people, they've still not figured how to handle their thought and emotion. These are basic faculties. When the hell are you going to learn how to use your thought and emotion? Suppose you're 20 years of age and you still don't know how to use your fingers, people will say you're handicapped, isn't it? You are whatever age you are and you still don't know how to use your thought and emotion, are you handicapped too? Hello? Are you or are you not? You are, you're crippling yourself. Why has this happened? Is simply because you have made unnatural divisions in the existence, which don't exist anywhere else except in human mind. Yes? Nowhere else does it exist except in human mind. Because you're a little girl, can I call you a little girl?
Yes, you can.
I'm telling you the boys, she's not a little girl, for me, she's a little girl. When my daughter was growing up, she grew up with me traveling all over the place. When she was 3.5 months of age, she's traveling with me alone. I'm driving all over India with her in the strapped to the seat of the car. So, she grew up like this and every day we're in some different family. People are wonderful, but there is a problem with the adults. The moment they see a child, they want to teach the child something that's not worked in their life. You should see, this urge is so compulsive. The moment they see a child, they have to teach. They have to teach. So I made one rule, see, you can play with her as much as you want, you can talk to her, but nobody is going to teach her anything. But Sadhguru, she won't learn anything, ABC at least 1, 2, 3. I said, no 1, 2, 3. Then they said, she won't know how to count even her fingers. I don't care. If she doesn't know how to count her fingers, as long as she knows how to use her fingers, I don't care. She thinks she has 1,000,000 fingers, what's my problem? But they want to teach 1, 2, 3, ABC, Mary had a little lamb. I said, I don't care whether Mary had a lamb or no lamb. You're not going to teach her anything. So nobody taught her anything. She's all ears, everybody treated… Because if you have nothing to teach, you have to treat somebody like your equal. So she grew up. By the time she's 2.5, 3 years of age, she can speak in terms of remembering about 700 to 800 names, all adults. She thinks they're all her friends, because everybody spoke to her like she's an adult. And I would not have sent her to school, but my schedule went totally crazy and I had to put her in some school. So when she was 12, 13 years of age, one day she came back home and something that happened at school disturbed her. So she came to me and said, "You're teaching everybody so many things, you're not telling me anything." I said, "See, I don't do it unsolicited. Now that you've come, just sit down. This is all you have to know. Never look up to anybody." She looked at me like this, "What about you?" kind of thing. I said, "Especially me, because the moment you look up to me, you will miss it completely. If you look at me just the way I am, there is a lot of value to it. If you look up to me, what will you do? Probably take my picture and nail it to your wall, like you nailed so many people who are of value in this world. You just look at me for what I am, don't look up to me, and never look down on anybody. This is all. Never look up to anything, never look down on anything. If you see everything just the way it is, everything has immense value. Everybody has a place and value to their life, isn't it? Every creature has value. Because we did not realize that, how many things we have destroyed in this world, simply because we think this is valuable, this is not valuable. There is nothing here that is not valuable, everything has its value. Maybe you are not able to see it. So don't set yourself up like this, you versus the rest of the world. It's a bad competition to get into. You want to be number one on this planet. It's a horrible place. Everybody below you and you up. Is it a good place to be? I think it's a sick place. This attitude of wanting to be ahead of somebody needs to go. Well, for fun in a game or something you compete, that's different. Life is not a competition, life is not a race. If life is a race, you must get to the finish line soon. If you think life is a race, you must be at the finish line today. I can tell you how. You want to go there? No. This is not a race. This is a tremendous privilege that we have come as human beings. This means our ability to experience life is of a much larger proportion than any other creature on this planet. That is the significance of who we are, yes? We can experience life in many more vivid ways than how an ant can experience, how a grasshopper can experience, how somebody else can experience. This is our privilege. Instead of experiencing life, we are trying to win the race. If you win the race, you should be in the crematorium today. You don't need any self-esteem. In this culture, if you don't know this, there may be people with names like this, there will be one Ramadas, one Krishna Das, one whatever. What this means is people are consciously taking the name of being a slave, because a joyful, willing slave is a tremendous human being. Only somebody who's been enslaved by somebody is a different matter. But willingly, I'm willing to do whatever is needed in this world, is a wonderful slave, isn't it? I'm one.